Hey everybody, my name is Ashley. I'm in Growing Zone 6B, and I want to start off by kind of telling you about why we're on YouTube and the basis for our channel. Obviously it's going to be about gardening, but I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a background on kind of who we are and how we got here. So in 2017, me and Travis, my husband, bought our property. It's 4.3 acres, and we didn't really have a vision for what we wanted to do with our space, but we knew that we wanted some sort of garden. So our very first garden was a 10 by 10 in-ground garden. We just tilled a 10 by 10 spot up. There was no mulching or plastic or anything like that, just dirt. And we planted everything that year in that space, everything from tomatoes to corn, peppers, and it did not work out very well. So the following year, we kind of scoured the internet looking for like a better idea. We decided that we were going to do raised beds and that it was going to be more convenient that way, less weeds. At the time, we didn't really love gardening. It really wasn't about like growing our own food or anything like that. It was just really something to do. So we were looking all over the internet for good ideas and finally found what we were going to do. But in that process, we came across a bunch of people that just really were into gardening. A whole community that was really focused on the importance of growing your own food. But as we continued to watch these people, it kind of became something that we were a little obsessed with. I mean, I had neighbors coming over being like, oh, you're gardening and watching gardening on YouTube. But that's kind of how we got here. So today I would like to start by kind of showing you where we're at for the season. We're just going to walk around the garden. It's not going to be too informational. But yeah, so let's do this. Alright guys, so this is our raised bed garden. It was like one of the first gardens that we established. It's came a long ways. We've made a lot of changes. So out front, I've just got some flowers. So this is yarrow. Very pretty yellow. Yarrow comes in a lot of colors. We've got some coneflowers. I really need to fill in this garden space. It is lacking, and as you can see, there's like grass growing up in there. But I used a wildflower mix this year for all my pots so that I didn't have to buy any pretty annuals or anything. So I'm not sure what those are. I think they're cosmos, but I'm excited to see. And if you know what they are, please comment and let me know. This is a raspberry bush that's kind of there by accident. I planted it once, decided to move it, and I dug it up, and it keeps coming back. More yarrow. Some clematis. And this year we decided to try to grow something that we hadn't before. So this is garlic. I believe it's a variety by Baker Creek. It's like German Giant. I will also, as we continue to go through this, I will share with you different varieties and link them below if I know what they are. Got onions. We've done onions a lot of different ways, from seed, from bulb. I don't even remember where we got these this year, probably a local farm store, but that's our bed of onions. Over here is a mixture of things this year. So as you see, this is flowering, that's cilantro. I'm going to let it go to seed because it will spread all over our garden. One of the first years that we planted cilantro, my plant bolted like super quick and we never got any cilantro off of it, but the next year we had cilantro growing, like self-seeded itself, and was growing everywhere in the garden. So that's the plan. I also planted, if you can see down there, tiny little bitty cilantros. I planted cilantro by seed this year in here, along with parsley and dill, so it's kind of going to be like an herb bed. And then we also have a couple, I don't even remember what variety of tomatoes these are. These were extra that we started from seed, and I didn't have any room for them in where we traditionally plant our tomatoes, so I just kind of stuck them in here. But they seem to be doing good. And over here is my perennial herb bed. So we have lemon thyme right here. It smells really good. It smells like lemon. It's good on like chicken and fish. And we've got oregano and German thyme and more oregano, and then that's a sage plant. Alright, and then we've got cucumbers growing over here. We got jalapenos. I'll drop the varieties down below. And then, oh, this isn't a jalapeno. So our, one of our jalapenos decided to die, and so I planted another tomato over here. This one we did not grow from seed. I actually got it from a local store, True Value in town, and it's a Roma tomato. So, but I harvested most of the broccoli today, so anything left is going to be like side shoots. We planted 47 broccoli plants this year. I didn't get the harvest that I expected, so I probably will be trying a different variety. If you live in Kansas or in Zone 6B and you have a broccoli variety that you really like, that grows like big, thick heads, please let me know. Would be very interested. Then over here we had cauliflower. I've harvested everything except for 2 plants. Like this one, it's got a lot of bug poo on it, but it's doing good. Nice and white. Probably need to pull these. As you can tell, this one's turning like purple from the sun, but I'll get them tomorrow. And then the rest is cabbage. So we have green and then red. I feel like these should be bigger for the time of year they are, but little heads. And then this is butternut squash. It's the first time growing that. So hopefully it goes well. But it's a variety from Baker Creek. And then over here we have a yellow zucchini. I also think this is a variety from Baker Creek. I did not realize that when I first planted it, I think I started planting it last year, that it's actually variegated. I kept thinking that this was like powdery mildew, but it's not. Just pretty leaves. Then we have watermelon, little baby watermelons. Yep, little babies. Alright, and then behind me here, we've got a row of green beans, actually 2 rows of green beans, and then snap peas, lots of snap peas. Then back here we have potatoes. I will try to put the varieties in the comments below, but I know we did like Yukon Gold, I think, and Kennebec, and maybe a red variety. But last year was our first year growing potatoes, and we did 1 row last year, and it was pretty good. So I'm excited to see what 3 rows brings us. Down here we have some baby habanadas. So Baker carries a variety called a habanada. It's the same thing as a habanero, but it has no heat. They're really good. That poor little baby over there, I don't think is gonna make it, but we'll see. All right, and then behind me over here, this mess, that is our asparagus bed. The poor asparagus plants. We finally started getting some asparagus where we could harvest it this year, and it was pretty good, but it's been a long time coming. One piece of advice that I would give you is if you move somewhere and you plan on having asparagus, plant it right away. We waited years to plant our asparagus, and I really regret it. Here, I believe this is a mixed bed. I didn't mark our peppers this year, so these are more than likely shishito peppers and bell peppers, but they're doing good. And then you got some mint. Then this bed is all bell peppers, except for we have another Roma tomato that I grabbed from True Value to replace one of our peppers. We had some really strong winds, and so I lost a pepper, so I'm just replacing it with a store-bought tomato. But that is the raised bed garden space. All right, so if you want to come over here, I'm going to show you the kids' garden. This is my daughter's garden. I made the mistake of ordering the wrong variety of snap peas for our in-ground garden this year, and instead I bought like a dwarf snap pea. I'll have to link the variety or post it up on the screen, but it only grows to like, I don't think it gets any taller than this. It said 1 foot to 2 foot. Obviously it's kind of there already, but I knew that it wasn't going to work for our in-ground, so I had my daughter plant it here. And then over here is just that wildflower mix. She just planted it everywhere, and she's got a little sunflower. All right, so we have done our tomatoes many different ways over the years, but the one way that I've decided to kind of continue with is trellising our tomatoes instead of using like tomato cages. So what we do is make these cinder block beds and use cattle panels that we hacked and T-posts. And then as these tomatoes get bigger, I'm just going to tie them up to the T-post. But this bed is all Roma tomatoes. They're not looking too bad. This little guy over here is a Mandarin lemon balm. It's also a Baker Creek variety. And I've got some more thyme. And I planted some zinnias, so those are coming up nicely. Nasturtiums and basil. Those are Genovese basil, so like your regular, normal basil variety. Somewhere in here. Oh, look. So I did not plant this. This right here, smells so good. That is a Chinese basil. I believe that's the name of the variety. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it later. But I don't grow this to eat. It kind of tastes like black licorice, and I don't like black licorice, but it gets these really pretty purple flowers on them. I'll post a pic, but they're very pretty and they last in a vase for a very long time. So I'm really excited to see that coming up by itself from last year. And then there was oh, look, a baby Genovese basil that came up by itself. I didn't plant that one either, so that's exciting. And then we've got purple basil over there and some more nasturtiums. More basil and nasturtiums. This right here is clematis that my grandma gave me. It's actually very invasive, but I thought that if I planted it here, it could cover the trellis and it'd be real pretty. It grows white flowers. Then on this side, we have some noodle beans. So different types of noodle beans. I usually do the red, because those are fun, but these are the green, like yard long beans. I planted them last year and they didn't come up, so I'm pretty excited to see these puppies grow. Then over here we've got more tomatoes. These are going to be your beefsteak tomatoes. And as you can see on this row, there are 5 tomatoes instead of 4 like we usually do. And that's because one is a volunteer. This year, before we put the straw down, we put the straw down today to keep weeds out, after all the things that I planted from seed had germinated. But there were, like, I swear, hundreds of volunteer tomatoes just like popping up everywhere. I had to pull most of them, but I did keep more than one. That's over there in the line, but also this little guy. So I'm probably gonna have to pull him. It's probably gonna get overcrowded in here, but I couldn't pull him yet, so he's staying. Little duckies. Oh, I did to see that coming up by itself from last year. And then there was oh, look, a baby Genovese basil that came up by itself. I didn't plant that one either, so that's exciting. And then we've got purple basil over there and some more nasturtiums. More basil and nasturtiums. This right here is clematis that my grandma gave me. It's actually very invasive, but I thought that if I planted it here, it could cover the trellis and it'd be real pretty. It grows white flowers. Then on this side, we have some noodle beans. So different types of noodle beans. I usually do the red, because those are fun, but these are the green, like yard long beans. I planted them last year and they didn't come up, so I'm pretty excited to see these puppies grow. Then over here we've got more tomatoes. These are going to be your beefsteak tomatoes. And as you can see on this row, there are 5 tomatoes instead of 4 like we usually do. And that's because one is a volunteer. This year, before we put the straw down, we put the straw down today to keep weeds out, after all the things that I planted from seed had germinated. But there were, like, I swear, hundreds of volunteer tomatoes just like popping up everywhere. I had to pull most of them, but I did keep more than one. That's over there in the line, but also this little guy. So I'm probably gonna have to pull him. It's probably gonna get overcrowded in here, but I couldn't pull him yet, so he's staying. duckies. All right, we got the rest of the tomatoes, and then we got some marigolds. I did grow those from seed this year as well. And then, if you're wondering, this is chamomile. I keep it up near our fire pit in some pots for our daughter because she likes chamomile tea. But this I did not plant. It has reseeded itself from the potted plant, and I don't mind. I'd rather have it than weeds. So it's kind of pretty and it smells good. All right, so we're gonna head over to our in-ground garden. These are the blueberries. I've kind of went round and round with blueberries. So we started with 2 last year, and we had them way down there, and it wasn't working. So I moved them up here, and they ended up dying. But Walmart had these on sale, and I bought 2, and then my husband bought 4, and then our rows were uneven, and that drives him nuts, so we bought 2 more, so now we have 8. I thought this little guy over here was dead, and look at it. It's got green leaves. There's hope. So, my dad's cousin, she lives down the road, and she has blackberries, the thornless kind. My mom has given me some over the years, but I wasn't ready to plant them, and I killed them. But they gave us a couple tubs of these blackberries, and we brought them home to plant. I thought there was going to be like 10 plants, but there was 30. So we planted them all. We've been mulching them, trying to keep up with the grass. It's not really working. I need more mulch, but they're doing all right, I guess. Okay. All right, next to the blueberries are the strawberries. They're not doing so hot either. I mean, they're doing okay. They're just not very productive. I feel like I need a lot more of them. This row is kind of empty. If you are like an avid strawberry grower and you have any tips, please let me know, because I just have not been that successful. And then these are broccoli plants. A couple different varieties. I believe we did Waltham 39 from Baker Creek. A random one that we didn't write down from a local farm store. And we also grew Romanesco. I probably won't grow Romanesco again. I have never seen it come to fruition. We skipped over a tomato bed. So more tomatoes. This is our cherry tomato bed. So there's a couple different varieties. I know that there is Berry Crazy Cherry. If you have not seen that one, you should totally check it out. It's a little yellow tomato, and it grows like super crazy. It's very prolific. I tried to grow it last year, and we had a horrible tomato year, so it wasn't successful. All our tomatoes ended up actually dying. It hadn't happened to us before, and I had to replace them with store-bought tomatoes. But that one will be exciting. So we've got Berry's Crazy Cherry. I think there's like black strawberry, pink bumblebee, and a couple others. But I'll go ahead and post those in the comments as well. Okay, everyone. Well, I'm gonna head inside. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully you'll join next time. Have a good night.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.